So, in today's cheeky markets, the Bitcoin price action did not disappoint because within this bearish structure, the price did break down and down it went. We have been talking a lot about Bitcoin's futures and finally the gap was filled. And in last week's crypto news, Bitcoin's hash rate mysteriously flash crashes, there is a lot of price fought in the media, and adoption is growing for social impact projects. So, if you're curious about it, just chill and keep watching. Hello everyone, how's it going? My name is Patrick, welcome back to my channel, The Cheeky Entrepreneur. So guys, just before starting the video today, I just want to tell you that as promised, I did upload a video on Friday regarding this trading log that I've been working on. In that video, I'm focusing mostly on performance. I definitely recommend you to check that out because it's very important. It can be a game changer in your trading. In any case, the video will be in the top corner of this video. But now guys, let's talk about Bitcoin, and I think Bitcoin did not disappoint with this huge move to the downside as we were expecting, and I think there still might be room for some more movement to the downside. But just before going through the technical analysis, I actually want to say some things. As you know, this channel is mostly about you learning, it's mostly me about telling you my experiences so that you can get something more juicy than only TA, because TA is not the most important thing in trading. But in any case, I want to discuss two things about risk management. So the first thing, the reason, and it's quite ironic because in a past video I said you don't want to miss this opportunity, and it's ironic because I actually miss all this downfall, but I'm gonna tell you why and what I've been learning from this, so maybe you can take this into consideration for your own trading. So the first thing, as I've told you, I did try to short the price around these two boxes, but the price didn't go all the way in there, and I think the first mistake is that I tried to short at the very top of the box, which is the best risk reward possible, because basically if it breaks, you know that it might go to the other side, so you can reduce your risk. But the problem of course is that you are not allowing the price, or you are limiting your risk, so you have to take that into consideration as well. Also, it's very important, and I know that if you have been trading for more than a month, you're gonna notice that you are gonna get mad whenever you are missing a trade, and this is completely normal, but you have to think that it's always best to not be in a trade than to be in a bad trade. So for instance, if you start jumping the gun and say, hey, instead of waiting until this point, I'm gonna trade before, then you are gonna be risking more, and chances are that your trade is gonna be stopped more often because of the stop loss that you're gonna set. So just take some of these things into consideration, because chances are that another opportunity will rise, and it's more important to have most of your accounts secure so that if that happens, you can try it again. Now, the second thing that I wanted to talk about very quickly is, well, I could have not traded this because I was actually working, and it's not a very good idea to try to do two things at the same time if you're somewhere else, if you're not in with your computer in a state that you can actually analyze the market. You can do a lot of mistakes, so I'm not mad about missing it for that reason. However, I've been looking for for some platforms. I know that any of the cryptocurrency platforms that I know, being this BitMex, Bybit, and all these, they do not have this feature that I'm looking for, which is basically, if you are trading a breakout, let's say you want a breakout in here, so you want to put a pending order at, let's say, 9,000. When that trade executes, then putting a stop loss or a market order to the upside at a certain point. I don't think any platform does that, at least that I'm concerned. If you know about it, please tell me, because that's the only reason that I'm not trading breakouts, because you never know when it's actually gonna happen. And for instance, in this case, if I was at work and I wouldn't be able to use my computer, if I put a pending order to the downside there and it breaks, but it ends up being a week or something like that, and then it comes back, you know, the risk is huge there, because you're not gonna have a stop loss, and that can actually kill your account in one trade. So that's one of the reasons that I don't trade breakouts if I'm not there. So I'm not really mad about it, but I just want to discuss this because it's normal to get mad when you're missing trades. I mean, I still got tilted. I got very tilted about this, but it's something that happens, and it's something that it's gonna be normal about trading, and the more often you experience it, the better you're gonna handle it. But in any case, guys, let's jump into the real technical analysis, and we already know that this broke to the downside. It was a bearish pattern all along. We have been discussing this in all these videos. Of course, there was the possibility of actually breaking to the upside, but I did mention that this is a bearish pattern. And of course, the main thing here is that this support and all support becomes new resistance. So now that we have broken this to the downside, we can expect that this is gonna behave as a resistance in the future. And also on the bearish side, now that we have broken all these EMAs, we are gonna be having extra resistance to the upside. And we have been talking about the 20 EMA, we have been talking about the 50 EMA, how those are very two important EMAs, and they provided a lot of support before, and now they might provide a lot of resistance. So in reality, the price action might start switching to the bearish side. So we need to see if actually the bulls have enough momentum to actually get back of this. If not, probably the overall trend will start behaving a little bit more bearish like before. And guys, it does not help that actually we broke also the 200 EMA, and we actually retested very quickly around here. If you see, at least in Coinbase, the price actually retested the 200 EMA, and I don't think that's bullish at all. That's very bearish in my opinion. But in any case, guys, it would be very naive thinking that this is just gonna drop and there won't be a stop. Usually this is how crypto behaves. It's very volatile, so you can expect the price coming down, but we are gonna be seeing some bounces back. I think that's pretty much assured at some point. I mean, if you take a look at the oscillators, there are both oversold, so they might need a little bit of a breather to the upside, then might go back down to do a potential bullish divergence. We have to wait and see. Also, we still have some support boxes down below before the 6K, so there is still some opportunities for the price to recover a bit from this correction that just happened. And just very quickly, let's go into the 4-hourly chart, because a lot of supports were broken. Of course, this first one was the most evident because that was basically the support of this descending triangle, so that was very much to be broken. Then we could have found some resistance in here, but of course we had enough momentum to the downside to completely destroy that level. And then I did mention before having this golden support. I mean, in reality, it didn't have anything special except that it was the support next right after the futures gap that we are gonna talk about a little bit on in this video. But in any case, it's actually very surprising because it was the first support that it found, and then the price moved back up to this other resistance in this case, but the bulls didn't have enough momentum, and we see that price went back down, retest this support, and finally break it to the downside. And here's the interesting part, because this could potentially be kind of bullish because we did not test the next resistance, or well, the next support already, but we actually came back up. But again, here we found some resistance from this new support. Just as I already told you, all support becomes new resistance, and it seems that this is the case, and that's why I think that momentum is shifting to the bearish side, even in the lower time frame. As well, I want to point out that there is kind of this contradiction in the oscillators. If you see, the RSI is mostly oversold while the stochastic is overbought, and this is one of the reasons that I think the price still might go down, and it might form this bullish divergence, because it's pretty common that this happens. And then what I think that price could do is potentially coming back down, retest maybe this new support box, and then we're of course gonna have the RSI around here, and we're gonna form kind of this bullish divergence where the RSI is going well, it's making a higher low, but the price is making a lower low, and this could potentially be a good opportunity to actually trade to the upside, at least to get maybe this this target to the, or if it breaks that resistance, potentially going and retest the 9,000, which is basically the new resistance form from this support from the descending triangle. So guys, I don't want to make this video way longer than it should be. You already know the gap got filled. We have been talking a lot, and I mean a lot, because it has been the center or the focus of the past videos. It's this target, and it was met. It was met already. I think this was foreseeable, or at the very least it was very expected that this could happen. I mean, all the gaps tend to be filled. I mean, of course they don't really have to, but I mean, within this price range it's certainly common for it to really get filled. But in any case, guys, what I do observe from the future charts is that we are in this descending channel, and of course I already told you how I usually trade channels. It seems that we still have a little bit more ground to the downside, and that's why I was talking that we could potentially still go down. It seems here that it could fall below 7,000. It's gonna be very interesting to see. I think the supports in there might be strong enough to at least provide a good bounce to the upside, or at least to retest this area and probably going even higher. In any case, the same technical analysis as the daily chart applies in here. Oversold oscillators and all that, and of course the resistance from the EMAs and whatnot. But I want to focus now that if we follow all these kind of related things about the gaps, we do have one gap here yet to be filled. It's of course to the upside. It's around that 12K. I mean, of course, I think that's a price that we are of course gonna be seeing in the future. Maybe not in the short term or the medium term. Maybe it will be a couple more since until we actually consolidate, we actually find support, we see if we are gonna hold support before 7,000. If not, if we go back down maybe to 6,000, hopefully it will stop there. If it breaks to the downside, you know that it's gonna be cheap Bitcoin. At least that's in my opinion. So you better do what you want, what you think is right, at least for your specific situation. But in any case, it's gonna be very interesting to see, because this is actually gonna provide a lot of opportunities to actually trade. I'm taking a look at this, and at now the new target, or at least the price that we should be taking a look at, is if we break that that descending line to the upside. If we break out, this is not gonna be just a target. I think this is gonna be just a mid step, because if we went to the downside, retested and went back up, and we actually break, you know that these breakouts can be quite powerful. Now guys, I don't really want to waste too much time on altcoins at right now, and the reason is because it seems that they are on this consolidation phase, which is kind of unnecessary. I mean, I already told you that whenever the Bitcoin goes down, usually the Bitcoin dominance goes down as well, meaning that the altcoins get the most benefits out of it. But this didn't seem to be the case. I mean, we did go way lower around here. Then when the final breakout happened, we did not go as lower as before. So we're gonna enter this consolidation phase. The only thing that I see that could be a potential prospect for the future is this potential EMA cross, because if we had the 20 EMA crossing down the 50 EMA, potentially we could see some bounce to the upside, and then we could potentially see this altcoin cycle to happen. I think this usually happens when Bitcoin is rather cheap, so we will have to wait and see. Well, in any case guys, let's jump into the news section of last week. Bitcoin network hash rate mysteriously flash crashes by 40%. Bitcoin's network hash rate dipped a record 40% yesterday, September 23rd, in a sudden shock for the network. Data from Coinbase and other sources indicate that the network's hash rate plummeted yesterday from over 98 million terahashes to 57.7 terahashes. The hash rate of a cryptocurrency, sometimes referred to as hashing or computer power, is a parameter that gives the measure of the number of calculations that a given network can perform each second. A higher hash rate means greater competition among miners to validate new blocks. It also increases the number of resources needed to perform a 51% attack, making the network more secure. And guys, what I think is most interesting here is that the back release on September 23rd, then this happened just before the breakout to the downside. So maybe it's a coincidence, maybe it's not, but if you were taking a look at the news, if you were taking a look at the technicals, there was a good opportunity to actually short the price, as I commented in previous videos. Bitcoin's price crashes $1,500 in 24 hours. Is 7.5k next? Bitcoin price has retraced rapidly from 9,800 to 8,150 in less than a day for the first time in months. Bitcoin prices crashed hard, dropping almost $800 in a few minutes to show double-digit losses. It was down 11.4% and trading at 8,150 as of publishing time. About 9,800 break that, and investors could look forward to a test of $7,500 support. And guys, the only reason I'm putting this news in here is just to tell you more about the psychology, because it seems that masses always tend to follow this kind of news, and we already talked about the price in cryptocurrencies almost in any market, but most importantly in cryptocurrencies, because they're so volatile. Pumps and dumps are very normal. It's something that you should be aware of. It's something that if you are investing, you should consider for the long term. And all these news, they make it sound like if it was something out of the extraordinary, but in reality it's not. There's so much irrationality in these markets, and this is just one of the many reasons why the price is so volatile and why we still need to get more people into Bitcoin, into cryptocurrencies, to increase the liquidity. And this is one of the reasons why I do what I do, just to put my little grain of sand, if you will, there, and try help people to understand this and see it as more normal as it should, because in reality all these kind of things should not be in the news anyways. Consensus and WWF rollout platform for transparency in philanthropy. Consensus, a blockchain startup founded by Ethereum's co-founder Joseph Lubin and the World Wildlife Fund, have jointly launched the Impactio platform to bring transparency into philanthropy. Per an announcement made of September 24, a new partnership between Consensus and the WWF resulted in an Ethereum blockchain-based platform dubbed Impactio, designed to supervise and fund projects within non-governmental organizations and standalone companies. The impetus behind the initiative is to trace how companies' funds are spent within social impact projects. Adding financials and proofs of payments definitely helps to create a success story, but only with crypto and blockchain we can aim to give full transparency about the use of funds. And guys, in all honesty, I'm very happy when I see news like this, because this is one of the main things about cryptocurrencies is transparency. You already know regarding all this open ledger, and this is one of the best applications and the one that might have a huge impact in the future, because this not only brings adoption, but it helps a better cause. In this case it's the WWF, but it's quite being adopted for charity overall. Well, in any case guys, I hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you did, and only if you did, mind subscribing and also push that like button. Guys, if you have any questions regarding how to trade, the basics, or if you have questions regarding what you should be learning, you can always reach me. You know that you can put a comment down below in my videos, or you can also reach me in Discord and also in Instagram. Just send me a DM and I will be pleased to try my best to help you out. But in any case guys, just as usual, I would like to remind you all, stay smart, stay bold, but most important of all, stay cheeky. Take care guys.